investigations, we are unable today to speak about the specifics of September 10. And we are also doing that out of respect for the Kirk family, to whom we extend again our deepest condolences.
A vigil to be held on the campus tomorrow. At the Pentagon, dozens of social media posts from U.S. service members are being investigated. Defense Head Seth has publicly warned against commentary that mocks or praises Charlie Kirk's killing. Already, at least one Marine officer has been pulled from his recruiting duties, and 5 Army officers and an Army Reserve officer have been suspended. Here in Laverne, a missing woman has been found dead inside of a car parked at a McDonald's restaurant. 21-year-old Jocelyn Krause was reported missing after not returning home from work on Tuesday. Customers tell Channel 4 they saw what they thought was a woman sleeping in her car.
I was just coming to McDonald's, and I saw the lady in the car. I'm like, she sleep. She probably, it's hot. Why are you sleeping?
The Rutherford County medical examiner performing an autopsy to determine how she died. Months after baristas walked off the job over Starbucks' new employee dress code, some of those same workers have now taken their case to court.
Starbucks employees in 3 states claim that the coffee giant violated the law when it changed its dress code while refusing to reimburse employees who had to buy new clothes to meet the new standard. Workers filed class action lawsuits in Illinois and Colorado. Baristas in California have lodged complaints with that state's Labor and Workforce Development Agency.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. Stocks are all trading up with the Dow Jones Industrials plus 83. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Trump was right, and Joe Biden.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by my friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can find me on all the social media platforms that matter. It's basically everything but Facebook. At Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I was dealing with haters on Twitter.
Already?
Somebody went back. I'd posted this clip of Charlie on the 11th. The day after he died. So don't let these messages fade. And it's like a 2-minute video. He's got a message to young men. It's great. Somebody randomly just went on it on that. You know how liberals are doing drive-bys on these accounts?
Oh my gosh.
They're just searching Charlie Kirk and then they're writing mean things. So this woman said, if you see anyone not mourning the death of Robert Redford the way you would like, please call their employer and get them fired. So I just replied, you must be a joy to be around.
I mean, those people are so fun at parties when they're bringing up people. Redford was a great actor. He was 89.
Yeah.
It wasn't a tragic all loss of life is in some way sad, but it wasn't a tragic ripping of a soul from this universe.
No, it wasn't. And obviously they're upset that Jimmy Kimmel got fired. I have the comments that got Jimmy Kimmel fired. Do you want to hear them? All right, here we go.
Of course.
Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
I don't know if that was the right one. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oof.
I think he should have got fired a long time ago. You didn't get vaccinated, you should get fired. You should die.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You should die.
Oh.
Don't you just want to put on a little nameplate that says Wheezy on it?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. He wasn't too upset when Tucker Carlson got fired. Did you know that?
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know. One of the most despicable mother Tuckers ever to appear on American television.
This is who the left wants you to be sad about being fired. They're trying to make it seem like Donald Trump got him fired. Trump got him fired. It's an attack on the First Amendment. It was local affiliates who said we're not airing his trash show anymore. And then ABC said, yeah, well, his trash show doesn't make any money. So if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And they let him go. It's really how it works. This is the actual comments that he made in regards to Charlie Kirk. This is what got him pulled off the air.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level...
So let me just put this out there. The only thing that got criticism about flying the flags at half-mast was when the mayor of L.A., Karen Bass, sent a directive saying, don't do that for Charlie Kirk. That was the only criticism I saw about flying the flags at half-mast, just full disclosure. Secondly, why does the left want to spin this into the shooter was a conservative so damn bad? Maybe because they're worried that their rhetoric and their ideology absolutely 100% motivated the assassin of Charlie Kirk, without a shadow of a doubt. And they've been trying to do the spin, so much so that it's been infuriating. Yeah, oh, he came from a conservative family, he must be MAGA. And then they tried to spin it and said, oh, it's a Nick Fuentes groiper. Also false. And personally, just my opinion, I think that a lot of the Israel did it spin is also coming from the left. Granted, you get some from the right, but I think that the constant push of it on online forums and the underbelly of the internet is coming from the left. So there's that. We got a lot of guests on the show today. We're going to be joined by Ryan Morrow. Ryan Morrow is an investigative journalist. He was on Glenn Beck's program yesterday. He had a bunch of smoking guns when it comes to George Soros and the $80 million that was discovered going from Soros, the Open Society Foundation, to domestic terrorist, criminal, and pro-terror groups. These smoking guns were released yesterday on the Charlie Kirk show, which was unbelievable, 1 week after Charlie's martyrdom. And we're going to talk to Ryan about what he found. And this comes on the heels of Donald Trump declaring Antifa a terrorist organization, which I don't know about you, but when they said that they were going to declare Antifa as a terrorist organization, my first thought was, about damn time. How long are we going to let this radical left get away with it? Antifa is a terror organization. Democrats want you to believe it's just an idea. It's just an idea. Antifa's an idea. Wasn't that Biden? Biden said that. But Donald Trump yesterday on True Social, I'm pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I believe that some of those investigations need to be pointed towards George Soros and the Open Society Foundation. We'll have Ryan Morrow on at 10:35. Looking forward to that conversation as well. The fact that this has been declared a major terrorist organization is fantastic. We've known about Antifa for a long, long time. I have friends who have been assaulted by Antifa members because they're covering protests that are happening in Antifa-designated areas. We saw what happened during the Summer of Love and the Black Lives Matter protests where Antifa, they just took over, what was it, the CHOP or the Chaz, it was in Portland or Seattle. I'm blanking on which city it was in, but the CHOP zone. They've taken over major cities. They react with violence. Their rhetoric is insane, and you can make the argument that this motivated the shooter. You could make the argument, and I'm sure some will, that the shooter was in connection with these groups. You could probably make the argument that this shooter didn't act alone and that Antifa groups were involved. And I pray and hope that investigators are going down every rabbit hole so that way they can make those connections, but because I believe they're there. I do. We also have Culture and Christianity tomorrow. The Culture and Christianity Conference is taking place at World Outreach Church in Murfreesboro. This is an event that was going to feature Charlie Kirk. Charlie and Erica were supposed to be there. They could have canceled the event. They could have, in all honesty. But the guys over at World Outreach Church realized if there's any time where we need to equip ourselves with ways to be bold in our faith, it's right now. It's right now. And I don't know about you, but I don't think Charlie Kirk would want that event to stop. So that event's going to go on. We're going to be broadcasting the entire show out there live. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll have Brandon Tatum on my show tomorrow about 9:30ish. Pastor Alan Jackson, obviously, is going to be jumping on the show. And possibly Pastor John Machukwu, who will also be speaking there. I've been trying to get John on the show. And I love John Machukwu, just for the record. He is an awesome, awesome guy. And we've been texting back and forth. And I asked him a couple times if he wants to come on. I didn't get a response, so I pulled back because he's hurting. He was friends with Charlie, and everything that he's done and how he's been platformed by Turning Point Faith. I can only imagine what he's going through. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get Pastor John on. He might not be able to make it due to travel restrictions as well. So, but the event is going to be awesome. Culture and Christianity taking place all weekend long at World Outreach Church in Murfreesboro. I'll be an MC at a couple points during the conference and doing my show out there live as well. So we hope to see you out there. If you're looking for me and you're going to the Culture and Christianity Conference, I'll be in the Welcome Center doing my show live. Come through, say hello, let's pray, let's hug, let's do all the things. And then if you can't make it to Culture and Christianity tomorrow, well, there's going to be a bunch of content from the conference that's going to be released on the World Outreach page YouTube channel. And then another programming note real quick while it's on the top of my mind. Pastor Alan Jackson hosts a show here every Sunday night from 7 to 8. This week, they'll be airing a conversation that he had with Charlie Kirk on the state of the American church. Can't think of a better time to air that conversation. And if you want to see it, you can't wait. That's on their YouTube page as well, but we'll air it here on WTN Sunday night. All right, back to the matter at hand. Jimmy Kimmel being canceled. So he was canceled, and people are saying this is cancel culture. I completely disagree. Cancel culture would be if we dug up old man show clips of Jimmy Kimmel in blackface and we said he's a racist and a bigot, pull him off the air because of something that he did, over a decade ago. That would be cancel culture. What we're seeing right now is not cancel culture. What we're seeing is absolute disgust towards public comments being made and companies reacting in real time saying, we don't want this on our airwaves. That's what we're seeing. And it was the Nexstar Group that got this really rolling. Nexstar Media Group yesterday on the 17th, announced that the company's owned and partnered television stations affiliated with the ABC television network would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future, beginning with tonight's show. They got this as they were about to go in and film. I love that part. I really do. They said, Nexstar strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk, and will replace the show with other programming in its ABC-affiliated markets. In some of these markets on Friday, they're actually going to be running a Charlie Kirk tribute. So something to look out for. I'm not sure if it's going to be running in Nashville. I haven't seen it. But the statement goes on. Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our nation's political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, and values of the local communities in which we're located, said Andrew Alford, president of Nexstar's broadcasting division. Continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time, and we've made the difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue. This has been a long time coming for Jimmy Kimmel. He absolutely 100% deserved to be fired before these comments. That show wasn't making any money. 200 employees, similar to what we saw with Stephen Colbert. And you know what? I say good. I say good. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. Sorry, not sorry. Donald Trump reacted on Truth Social, saying, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel show is canceled. Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC," with 3 exclamation points. President DJT. I love the response from Donald Trump. There's been a lot of media attention to this, a lot of outrage. And I find the outrage to be a bit manufactured personally and also infuriating. They are far more upset about Jimmy Kimmel being fired than they were about Charlie Kirk being assassinated. And it tells you a lot. And I've said it before on the show. I'll say it again. Your boos mean nothing because we've seen what makes you cheer. I don't care what you think. I don't. Jimmy Kimmel's an awful person. He deserves this. We got a lot more on the way. Hey, in a couple moments, I'm going to have Dr. Susanna Underwood join us from Borough Holistic Health. We are working together. I'm going to the memorial service this weekend in Phoenix for Charlie Kirk. And my wife and I, our first stop when we land in Phoenix on Saturday night is going to be going by the memorial at headquarters. And my wife and I were trying to figure out how can we do something where we can bring Middle Tennessee to Phoenix to show our love and support. And we were talking with our friends over at Borough Health, and they said, how about we create a drop zone here for letters and anything that people want to bring to the memorial, and then my wife and I will bring them. So that's what we're going to do. Dr. Susanna Underwood is going to join us here in a moment, and we're also going to ask her what she thinks about the CDC vaccine schedule and the changes that could be coming, because that is a newsworthy topic as well. We'll do that when we get back. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Defense Systems. Brink Fiddler is a hell of a guy, and what they do at Defense Systems is top-notch. They're a consulting and security firm that specializes in physical security and active violence mitigation training. They've trained everybody, from schools to corporations, healthcare facilities, country music tours, law firms, manufacturing plants, you name it. Everybody needs this training. Here in Nashville, they trained our entire staff at Cumulus, brought them in. It's eye-opening. It's not check-the-box training. That's not what you're getting from Defense Systems. It's giving you real skills that you and your employees can use anywhere, even outside of work. They've already trained over 30 Middle Tennessee schools. And I got to ask you, has your child's school had this training? Because we see it, and we know it. Active violence events are on the rise. Statistically, you're not going to be involved. But do you want to take the chance? This danger spills into everyday places. And if you or a loved one were critically injured, would you know what to do? I can confidently answer yes, because I've taken the training at Defense Systems. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it again, too. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit defensesystems.com or call 615-236-6484. That's 615-236-6484. That call to Defense Systems could save a life. Defensesystems.com. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand, and I got to tell you about my friends at Zero Res of Nashville. You already know, 4 kids, 2 dogs, the dirt. It's coming in whether I like it or not, especially now that we're in baseball season. Dirt, paw prints, mystery stains that I don't want to talk about. I told the 3-year-old, don't dance with the applesauce pouch. I know what some of those mystery stains are. The others, I'm not asking questions. What I do is I call Zero Res of Nashville. They use their exclusive ZR water, no soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue. My carpets and upholstery don't just look insanely clean, they're staying clean longer. Kids can sprawl out on the floor, dogs can roll around. I don't have to worry about what's in the fibers, and I don't get stressed over the dancing with the applesauce pouches anymore. And it's not just carpets. They do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works. Perfect if you are dealing with the same kind of things I'm dealing with. They got 4,500 Google reviews and a 98% recommendation on Facebook. The people understand the good work that Zero Res does. You'll understand, too. Call them today to book your appointment, 615-535-9376. That's 615-535-9376, or you can book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
technology agreement between the U.S. and the United Kingdom, and that press conference is ongoing right now. Also, a Spring Hill hero dad is finally home from the hospital. All of that and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. It's 9:27 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joining me on the hotline, Dr. Susanna Underwood of Borough Holistic Health. How you doing, Doc?
Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I am good. I just want to publicly thank you for helping us get some letters to the Charlie Kirk Memorial in Phoenix. For those that didn't catch us a moment ago, Dr. Underwood has been so gracious to allow us to take over her lobby and be a drop-off point for letters for Charlie for that memorial in Phoenix. So I just want to publicly say thank you, Doc.
Absolutely. So, it was one of those things where God just ordained the four of us to really just, powwow up, and it just happened so quickly. I mean, like so many out there, Jamie and I we are deeply grieved by Charlie's death, and we wanted to go to the memorial this weekend, but we really quickly realized, who would watch the farm? We could move patients around so fast. It just wasn't going to work for us. So then on Monday, when we heard you and Virginia were going to go, we were just like, you know what, this is awesome. But we still felt like, Lord, how can we get involved? What can we do? And so that's when we reached out to you guys. And Virginia immediately felt the Holy Spirit just kind of press on her heart the idea for this Letters for Charlie. And she and Jamie talked on the phone for, nearly 30 minutes. And just the next thing you know, I'm seeing patients, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're making signs, we're doing this, we're bringing a suitcase. I'm like, wow, it just.
I know. It's unbelievable.
It happened so fast.
So if people want to bring letters for Charlie, my wife and I will hand deliver them Saturday evening to the memorial at headquarters in Phoenix. But where is your office located? Where can we bring these letters for Charlie?
Yeah, so we are in the Georgetown Plaza, which is, many people know, 5 Senses, the area right there behind Kroger on Northfield and Broad. It's 1602 West Northfield Boulevard, and it is Suite 509. And we will, again, it's just letters, and we don't want any donations. We don't want flowers, boxes, nothing. Literally just some letters that we can easily send you guys with a little suitcase of that, and to bring, and just to be an honor, a spirit, whatever you feel like in your heart you want to write, and to just to get out in the privacy of your own home, that you can write to him, to write to something about the situation, what's, maybe, put something in your heart that you now want to do. And, we're putting it out there. We're releasing it to the Holy Spirit and God to just orchestrate through our cries, through our letters, through anything, to just put something down on paper, right? That helps a lot of people in all of this. They don't realize it, but journaling and writing. And so a lot of times, even kids and teens, they've been saying, we want to write, my kids alone, we want to write letters. My son, 17, I want to write a letter. I want to say how I feel, but not anybody read it. I'm like, absolutely. This is a great honor to him. So this is what we're going to do. And, you don't have to be inside of a church building to be on your assignment, right? Be the light where you can be the light. And remember that, your light gathers both, right? The darkness and the light. So be your light and do whatever you can do. And this is just something we wanted to do for our community to go forward with you guys.
Yeah, we're so grateful for you guys. The office, Borough Holistic Health, they're going to be open on Thursday and Friday and Saturday morning. And my wife and I are going to pick up all these letters on our way to the airport on Saturday evening. So you'll have plenty of time to do it. Real quick, while I have you on the phone, I'd love to get your take on the CDC vaccine advisory panel and possibly changes coming to the vaccine schedule. What's your take on what we're seeing in the medical industry and how that's moving?
Yeah, goodness, this is a big one. So, obviously the new committee and things that are starting to transpire around that, the advisory panels and people like that are just starting to get to that spirit of change where it's like, instead of a one-size-fits-all, towards more a parental choice and individual risk / benefits, for the discussion points. And so I think that the overhaul of this is very essential. I think this needs to know. I think we need to understand what the vaccine schedule represents. I think we need to understand the leadership that's been involved of that, and whether or not things have been actually coming out to the forefront of the studies and concerns that we've had for decades. And I think this is a very important thing that we need to know. We need to hear the truth. We need to see the things that may have been delayed and reaching us. And, and I think a lot of this has, there's a lot of things that, and insurance has to be involved in this. There's a lot of things that are going to come out to the public. And I think this is absolutely essential.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing. Dr. Susanna Underwood, Borough Holistic Health, if you want to drop off those letters, I appreciate you guys so much. Love y'all.
Absolutely, you too.
All right, it's 9:31. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And speaking right now, President Trump standing side by side with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He spoke first. Keir Starmer did, announcing a new science and technology partnership they say will bolster technological innovation in both countries.
We're taking the next logical step with a historic agreement on science and technology partnerships, and this will create new government, academic, and private sector cooperation in areas such as AI, which is taking over the world.
President Trump speaking there. Quantum computing, nuclear power, it's all covered in this agreement. We'll get more as details on this agreement become available. President Trump says he plans to designate Antifa as a major terrorist organization. That announcement in a Truth Social post, even as the president is in the UK. Now, in that post, President Trump calls Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster. He's also recommending that those who fund Antifa be investigated. In Pennsylvania, 3 police officers killed and 2 others seriously wounded after a man opened fire on them as they served a warrant. Here's ABC's Mola Langhi.
Suddenly, shots rang out.
We're going to have another officer that's going to be ground transported.
Emergency crews racing to the scene to tend to the victims. 2 officers transported to the hospital, 1 transported by medevac.
Police say that they killed the shooter. An update from a Spring Hill house fire that we told you about last month. The father who rescued his young son from the flames engulfing their home, Brandon Rohr, he's now recovering at home, having been released from the hospital where he has spent weeks in the ICU for burns and severe lung damage. Now, he is expected to make a full recovery. The family is now in a rental home, and a GoFundMe has raised nearly $50,000 for them. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 9:39 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show on iHeartRadio. Tune into the FM dial. You can watch the show on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the share button. All the platforms have a share button, and help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station as big as humanly possible. We appreciate you guys. We're up against mainstream media. We're up against the narrative constantly. And by you guys amplifying the message that we have here on WTN, it's a lot easier to clear that hurdle. The big news story for today, well, there's two that are really dominating the space currently. The first being that Jimmy Kimmel was canceled. And to that, we say good. And we'll have more on that momentarily. The second biggest news story was Donald J. Trump officially declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. It's about time. This is fantastic news. Jeremiah in Clarksville wants to talk about Antifa. Thanks for holding, Jeremiah. What do you got?
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. It's going to sound stupid because I am a disabled veteran. I'm 66 years old.
Well, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You were worth it. I was raised on the south side of Chicago in the 60s, and I've seen a lot of changes on this planet in my lifetime. But I'm totally ignorant. I keep hearing this term Antifa. I have no clue what that means or who those people are. I was hoping you could help me with that. And also, with this senseless killing of Mr. Kirk, I've been seriously thinking, I need to get involved with something good and positive in my life for a change, man, and I was hoping maybe you can give me a number that I could call and speak to someone. Being disabled veteran, I took a bullet to the head 20 years ago. I lost both my eyes and the frontal lobe of my brain. I shouldn't even be alive right now. But because of that, I'm what's called a shut-in. You know, I have little transportation, don't go nowhere, so I'm basically isolated like a hermit crab. But I'd like to do something positive for a change in my life and leave some sort of good legacy. And if that means attaching myself to what Mr. Kirk lived for, that's what I'd like to do, and I just need that platform to do that, and I need a definition of who these moron Antifas are and what that word means. I keep hearing that term, and I have no clue what it is, so that's why I'm calling you.
Perfect. I'll give you that. And I just before I let you go, I just want to say don't underestimate the power of your voice. Don't underestimate the power of conversations. You know, you said shut in. I mean, man, you can call into this radio station anytime and let your opinion be heard, and I will always answer your call. And thank you for your service. I want to hear more about your story at a later date, and I'd love to do a longer interview with you because I feel like you have a hell of a story. As far as getting involved, I'm not sure how proficient you are, how able you are to use the internet. Are you able to use the internet at all?
No, I'm totally blind. I've never owned a computer, wouldn't know how to use one. They make ones that talk to you, but I haven't been able to financially afford to get one. So when I need something looked up on the internet, I call different friends and get them to look it up for me over the phone or whatever I was, searching for. But
no, I get that, and feel free to use this radio station as a resource for that as well. I think what I would tell you, Jeremiah, is that your own voice, your own story is powerful, and I would amplify that as loud as you can get it. I'll put you on hold, and I'll have my producer grab your information, and then we can get in touch, and maybe it's getting you out to some conservative events to speak. Maybe that's your path forward, and I think that could be something that would be very powerful. But I'd love to have a more in-depth conversation on how we can get you off the bench and into the game, so to speak. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to put you on hold so that way.
Before you do so, I want to ask you a question. Are you familiar with any of the Billy Jack movies with Tom Laughlin from the 70s?
I am not.
Well, if you get a chance, look them up. Billy Jack, that was the name of the series, and there was 5 different movies. And the main song that was written and sung by the Coven for that series of movies, which represented the hardship of the Native American Indians. The chorus line is perfect for Mr. Kirk, because I know he's one tin soldier, and if you don't mind, it will just take me a quick second
by all means,
run those 4 lines off. All right. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. You'll be justified in the end. But there won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day. And on the bloody morning after, 110 soldier walks away. And that's what Mr. Kirk, he's the 110 soldier that got up from that horror and walked away, man.
Well, Jeremiah, man, I love you, man. And I appreciate your service, and I appreciate you calling in. I am going to put you on hold. I definitely want to get your info. Even my wife is texting me saying, I will help Jeremiah get his info now. So we're gonna connect with you. All right, brother?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, and we love you, buddy. All right?
You too.
All right, man. I'm gonna put you on hold, and we'll get your information. All right, Louis, if you can get Jeremiah's phone number for me, and just some ways that I can get in touch with him after the show, that'd be awesome. To his question on what is Antifa, and listen. Antifa is the paramilitary arm of the Democrat Party. That's how I view Antifa. Antifa is short for anti-fascist, and I know a lot of listeners are very familiar. But this is a militant left-wing organization that opposes, as they put it, white supremacy and fascism and far-right ideology. But they do it through action. They do it through violence. They do it through political intimidation. They don't have a formal structure. They're loosely affiliated groups and individuals. They're in protests, counter demonstrations. We've seen them attacking ICE facilities. We've seen them organizing assaults on ICE agents, and they actually have a lot of criminal charges. Assault and battery. Antifa members were convicted of aggravated battery and assault in incidents such as the 2017 attack on a family restaurant in suburban Chicago. There was 18 of these losers showed up fully masked up. Listen, Democrats only have a problem when ICE agents are in masks. When Antifa members are in masks, they have no issue with it at all. But they show up, steal batons and hammers, and they attack perceived white supremacists. They have been charged with rioting and conspiracy to riot. There was a 2021 to 2024 San Diego Antifa trial. All 11 defendants were convicted of conspiracy to commit a riot for planning and participating in violent clashes at political demonstrations. Sentences range from 2 years in prison. Antifa involvement in riots has been documented in Portland, Oregon, with arrests for inciting civil disorder during the 2020 protests. Property damage and vandalism, we've seen that ad nauseum. The ripping down of the statues, the desecrating of memorials for Charlie Kirk. I do think that a lot of that is Antifa. They use tear gas. They use deadly weapons. They dox individuals. They harass individuals. They've been charged with domestic terrorism-related charges, and this was during the Biden era. So when Joe Biden says Antifa is an idea, I would say, well, why on your watch then did FBI Director Christopher Wray have an analysis proposed in 2023, which would be RICO applications for Antifa's pattern of arson, assault, and organized violence akin to gangs. This is not a good group whatsoever. This is 100% a terrorist organization. By definition, using violence for political means, you are a terrorist organization. Let's go to Aaron in Nashville. What's up, Aaron? Aaron, what's up, man? Line 2 is Aaron. Aaron, going once, going twice. Maybe it wasn't Aaron. Aaron? Yo. I hear you in the background. All right, we'll put you on hold, and we'll see if we can do a wellness check on Aaron. Was it Aaron, Louis, or was it something else? The other day, Mason, Mason spelled Cheryl, Sharrell on my call screen. So I thought it was Sharrell.
Oh, poor Mason.
He does it to me all the time. I don't feel bad for Mason. So Donald Trump declaring Antifa a terrorist organization. Again, I'll read you that statement from Donald Trump that he posted on Truth Social last night. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is great news. This is huge news. And we're seeing them go after all these different elements of the left, whether it's defunding USAID or whether it's going after Antifa. This is clutch. These are big wins, and they need to be celebrated. One of the things that we're going to talk about with my guest after 10:30 is who funds Antifa. We've seen what happens with the Brick Ferry. If you're a good Antifa member all year long and you put your anti-fascist pins under your pillow at night, the Brick Ferry will pay you a visit for your protest the next day, and then you'll have pallets of bricks delivered. We've seen that nonstop, and everybody always goes, okay, this is a George Soros thing, isn't it? It's got to be a George Soros thing. Well, Ryan Morrow is going to be joining the show after 10:30. And he did some great investigative journalism, breaking down how since 2016, George Soros' Open Society Foundation, now run with his son Alex, who's married to Huma Abedin, mind you, not a good guy, is pouring over $80 million into groups tied to terrorism or extremist violence, groups like Antifa. They say the evidence is stark. Open Society has sent millions of dollars into U.S.-based organizations that engage in direct actions that the FBI defines as domestic terrorism. These groups include the Center for Third World Organizing and its militant partner, Ruckus Society, which trained activists in property destruction and sabotage during the 2020 riots, and the Sunrise Movement, which endorsed the Antifa-linked Stop Cop City campaign, in which activists currently face over 40 domestic terrorism charges and 60 racketeering indictments. At the same time, Open Society awarded $18 million to the Movement for Black Lives, a group that authored a radical guide that glorifies Hamas's October 7th massacre and instructs activists in the use of false IDs, blockades, and economic disruption. Now, this isn't just confined to American streets, reports Ryan Morrow. Open Society has funneled more than $2.3 million into Al-Haq, a non-governmental organization based in the West Bank and long accused of ties to the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which the European Union and the United States designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Grants to Al-Haq between 2016 and 2023 ranged from $400,000 in general support to an $800,000 institutional award. In September of 2025, the U.S. State Department sanctioned Al-Haq, citing its role in advancing campaigns that directly engaged in the illegitimate targeting of Israel. That means Soros' foundation has not only financed extremist groups within the U.S., but they're also financing extremist groups abroad. This is a big deal. The reporting is fantastic, and we'll talk with Ryan Morrow more about it after 10:35. We got a lot to get to. I do want to bring you some of the reaction to Jimmy Kimmel being canceled. It is eye-opening when these demons on the left are more upset about Jimmy Kimmel being canceled than they are about Charlie Kirk being shot. Again, your boos mean nothing to us because we've seen what makes you cheer. There's a lot more on the way. Hang out with us, 9:52. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand, and I got to tell you about my friends over at United Structural Systems. We call them USS. And if you got issues with waterproofing or foundation, you're going to call them the best because they're not going to send a sales guy worried about a quota to your home. They're going to send an expert who's just worried about fixing the problem. And with these problems, I understand. It's easy to ignore the warning signs. It's just a little water in the basement. It's just damp walls after it rains. Oh, it's just a crack in the brick. It'll go away. You hope so, at least. But the truth is the small problems are never going to stay small, right? Like the waterproofing issue is going to come back every time the rain comes back. That crack isn't going to shrink. It's going to get bigger. The good news is United Structural Systems is going to give you that peace of mind. They've already done this for over 30,000 homeowners across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. They're not going to bring sales pressure. They're going to bring solutions. Whether it's foundation repair or waterproofing, USS is going to stand behind the work that they do with warranties you can trust. This is how they've stayed in the game for 30 years. If you see the signs, cracks in the foundation, water in the crawl space, water in the basement, don't wait. Don't just stop waiting. Call USS today. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
The UK and the US team up on technology as President Trump's UK trip continues. Also, just when you thought the crime crackdown was about to get started in Memphis, comes word that it's actually been going on for months. We've got that coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. The left is outraged. Jimmy Kimmel. How could they fire him? Free speech. Donald Trump did this. He didn't. He did. He's happy about it. But these were local affiliates making their own choice, pushing ABC into the corner. And then they had to make a choice. ABC said, you're not worth the hassle. You're just not worth the hassle. Ooh, the truth must hurt. The truth must hurt. So this was during his show where he besmirched Charlie Kirk. He said the president doesn't care. He labeled the shooter with the trans boyfriend, MAGA. Make that make sense. And now leftist commentators are lining up to defend Jimmy. And they're also upset, but they're more upset about Jimmy being fired than they are about Charlie being killed. And it just says so much about them.
These people who are alleged free speech warriors have turned out to be cancel culture fans. And so, Jimmy Kimmel also tweeted something out saying he was so sorry for this death and we should put aside our differences. He's a comic. Comics should be able to make jokes. I don't understand, of all the people that should have free speech, comics should absolutely have free speech. And
it's not just that he was making jokes. It's that he was actively lying and then he didn't clean up his lies. And everybody knew he was lying. And the audience cheered him on. There's a difference between broadcasting and narrowcasting. And when they shrunk their audience to only leftists, pushed out half of the country, that was the beginning of the end for Jimmy Kimmel. Then you start losing money on advertisers. Well, you got 200 people doing an hour show every single night. Why? How do you need that many people? I do a 3-hour show every day, and I do it, and then Joan does the news, and then Mason hits the buttons. There's three of us. How do you need 200 people for a 1-hour show? It doesn't make any sense. But the writing had been on the wall for a while. And I think that Jimmy Kimmel finally stuck his foot in his own mouth and gave ABC the excuse to get rid of him. But to everybody that's so mad about this, do you guys remember how you reacted when Tucker Carlson was fired? I remember. And I'll bring that on the way. It's 10:01. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump announcing a historic technology partnership worth over $200 billion in cross-border investments with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
We have also just signed a historic technology prosperity deal, one of a kind, to ensure our countries lead the next great technological revolution side by side.
Now, this is a science and technology partnership with an eye toward bolstering technology innovation in both countries. Other news of the day, the battle against violent crime in Memphis has apparently been going for months. WSMV4 reporting that President Trump has been quietly working alongside Governor Bill Lee with 500 arrests and 100 indictments so far.
It started with a work of the U.S. Marshal Service some 3 or 4 months ago, followed up by an FBI effort that's been going on for the last 60 days. And those were quiet efforts because of the nature of that work.
The governor goes on to say that he will use whatever means are at his disposal to fight crime in Memphis. National Guard troops are expected to arrive in that city within days. Meantime, right here in Nashville, a big MS-13 cell has been busted up by the DEA. News 2's Megan Fee.
Well, according to the DEA, a 9-month investigation led to them conducting search warrants. This led to the arrest of at least 17 members and associates of the MS-13 gang across 3 states. Tennessee, California, and Oklahoma.
Agents also seized what they call bulk quantities of pot, pills, and cocaine. DEA agents were seen raiding several homes across Nashville this week. And the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices meets today and tomorrow. They're deliberating vaccine schedules for kids. In particular, the panel will vote on the combined measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella vaccine, the newborn hepatitis B vaccine, and COVID vaccine eligibility. In June, HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. removed all 17 sitting members of that panel and replaced them. He has said he's prioritizing public trust above any specific pro or anti-vaccine agenda. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We had a caller a little while ago, Jeremiah, who I hope is still listening. Disabled veteran, said he got shot in the face and is blind. And he wants to know how to get involved. Jeremiah, if you're listening, man, we're gonna find a way to get you a computer. I got a bunch of people texting, and I'm gonna be in contact with you. I have your number. And we're gonna get you a computer. Give me some time, and I'll be in touch with you today after the show. But we're gonna figure that out for you. And shout out to this audience, just unbelievable. I can't tell you how many messages I got from this audience saying, I want Jeremiah's number. I want to get involved with Jeremiah. This is the difference between what we've seen. It's like we react to things with love. We're not hateful people. We want to help, and this audience is just unbelievable. And I have my neighbor, Mr. Wallace is what the kids refer to him as. He's a Marine. And he's like we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get him a computer or a Google Hub. I got other people texting saying, listen, let's tell Jeremiah he can get involved here. I got Tom Davis reaching out, and I could go on.
It's beautiful
with how many people have reached out during the break for our friend Jeremiah. We love you, man, and we appreciate you. We're gonna get you a computer. One way or another, mark my words. You'll probably never hear about it again on the radio, but we're getting Jeremiah a computer. Let's talk to Lisa in Fairview. She has some comments on Jimmy Kimmel. What's up, Lisa?
Hey, Chris. I just wanted to tell you that I really, really appreciate your work and your commitment to Christ. But I just wanted to say I'm glad that they have taken Kimmel off And personally, I think they need to go ahead and take Jimmy Fallon and Seth off as well, because once they started changing their viewpoints and started implementing their viewpoints to the public, I just feel like people don't want to hear that. They watch late night to just kind of wind down for the day and watch something funny, But I quit watching all of them years ago just because of this very thing. And I'm glad that he's gone, and I hope they continue to clean house.
I'm with you, Lisa, and I appreciate the call. It's not just conservatives that are outraged over Jimmy Kimmel and his comments. Stephen A. Smith was upset about it. Did you see this? Stephen A. Smith, he said, where was the joke?
The only thing that I would say as it pertains to Jimmy Kimmel was, where was the joke? Because you're a late night host, and obviously that has a comedic attachment to it. Where was the joke? Obviously, it wasn't anything funny about that. The only thing that I would say,
there was nothing funny. Nothing funny about his comments. Listen, freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. It's just not. I mean, do you remember how gleeful that the left was? We told the left that the pendulum would swing back, right? When they were canceling us because we didn't want to get vaccinated and we were being fired from our jobs, they laughed at us. Jimmy Kimmel himself said, if you're not vaccinated, you shouldn't take up a hospital bed. You should just go die. When Tucker Carlson was fired, they said, good. Nobody cried about free speech. It's always rules for thee, but not for me. Do you remember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez when Tucker got fired? I remember.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country, I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled, and then you see like the villain's like hand reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But deplatforming works.
Oh, deplatforming works. Where was their cries for free speech? It's funny that she said, I'm waiting for the end of the Marvel movie. It's always with these libs. It's always a movie reference. Have you noticed that? They have no original thoughts, so it has to be a Marvel movie. And we got the villain's hand clawing back. It's weird. It's not the villain, but we're winning. We're winning, whether you like it or not. Jen Psaki, circle back. She told us Joe Biden was just so great, so mentally fit. She said that the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, this is a democracy story, guys, and we need to pay attention to this.
The news about Jimmy Kimmel, I think, is a pretty watershed moment. I think we all need to be talking about. We actually, and it's not just a media story. I know you agree with me on this. It's not just a media story. It's a democracy story. It's a freedom of speech story. It's so many things. And I've been thinking a lot today about how I lived through years of answering questions from a lot of these network journalists, people who ask tough questions. Sometimes. Yeah,
tough questions like, what ice cream did Joe Biden have for lunch today?
Sometimes I was pissed off at them. That's part of what we do, and this is threatening that. The news about
this is everybody feels so threatened. What are we gonna do if we can't spread lies and misinformation anymore? What are we gonna do if we're held accountable for the lies that we're spreading, the hate that we're spreading? What are we going to do? Well, Chuck Schumer, he compared what happened to Jimmy Kimmel to something that we would see Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin do. I kid you not. This is the narrative that they're going to tell you. Trump did this. Not Nexstar, not the local affiliates who said our audience doesn't want to see this loser anymore. Not ABC who said we don't want to bleed money anymore. This was Donald Trump, and Chuck Schumer makes the point.
Senator Schumer, your reaction to this?
It is outrageous. It's a page right out of Xi's playbook. This is just despicable, disgusting, and against democratic values. Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear. That is not what democracies do. That is what autocracies do. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with Kimmel or not. He has the right to free speech. And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy. And I am just outraged by it. Again, this is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do. We are not that country.
Okay. Yeah, freedom of speech, man. And if you say something vile and disgusting, your bosses are free to fire you, which is what we saw. Yet days after saying Donald Trump needs to cool down the rhetoric, if anybody needs to cool down the rhetoric after Charlie Kirk's assassination, it's Donald Trump. Chuck Schumer's on TV saying, this is what dictators do. This is what fascists do. No, it's not. Bill O'Reilly, he was on News Nation last night. He said, I wish Kimmel had run that monologue by me because I would have said, what the hell are you thinking, for starters?
Kimmel was not treated unfairly. He knew what he was doing and did it anyway, and he's paying the price. But I'm telling you, I don't feel good about it. I wish he had not done it. I wish he had called me and read me the monologue. I would have said, Jim, no way that's appropriate. No way. Think about the widow. Think about the widow of Charlie Kirk. And you're accusing millions of Americans of being complicit in his murder. That is not true. You are misleading. You can't do that. And that is the story.
That is the story. You said something vile and disgusting. It hadn't even been a week since Charlie has been assassinated. Charlie hasn't even been buried yet. You deserve to be fired. You deserve to be fired. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr, he was on Fox News talking about Kimmel being removed. And he's like, start a podcast. Go on YouTube. Learn to code, Jimmy. Learn to code. You remember Learn to Code? I remember Learn to Code. Learn to code, Jim. Learn to code.
Yeah, I mean, you can't avoid ratings. At the end of the day, the market is going to be undefeated. And a lot of these corporations, Disney and Comcast, they have been protecting and frankly subsidizing this content. Again, once President Trump smashed that facade, he gave a permission structure to local broadcasters to finally stand up. And when you're losing money, in the case of Colbert, reportedly $50 million, that's only going to go so far. And the same thing with Kimmel. They're now facing the consequences of the choices that they made to appeal to a very, very narrow audience. Again, you can do that. You can start a podcast. You can go on YouTube. But if you're going to have a license from the FCC, we expect you to broadly serve the public interest.
Learn to code. Let's go to Brian on the road. What's up, Brian?
Hey, bro.
What do you got?
Well, Schumer's the one that made me call. If he hadn't have said he was outraged by something like this, look, I lost my job twice for standing on integrity. I wouldn't lie, and I wouldn't cheat and steal. I've been in financial services for 30 years. I wouldn't do it because, you know what? It put me in the soup line for a little while, but it was okay because my integrity was not for sale. And these guys, they say and do anything, and we lived through 4 years of hellish administration by a treasonous SOB and his cronies.
Yep.
And now when things start going the right way, and it doesn't matter if it's Republican, it's just going the right way. It's the way it should have been all along. Now we're 4 years behind, and Trump can't catch up because he's dealing with all the crap that guy left behind.
Yep.
I never called him president. I would never call Joe Sleepy Biden a president because I don't think he was.
No, he was the resident.
Yeah, and he was a puppet.
Yep.
And everybody knows. And now the chickens, so-called, are coming home to roost, and they can't stand it. And, as a Christian, you're not supposed to gleefully gloat about, bad things happening to people. But when bad things happen to bad people, we kind of justify it, I think, in our language and actions, and that's the way it is.
I mean, I'm not gleeful that bad things happen to Jimmy Kimmel, and I don't want bad things to happen to Jimmy Kimmel. But I am happy to see justice, and I think that that's what we're seeing.
Well, what's bad? Losing your job is not the worst thing in the world, bro.
He'll be all right. He was making $15 million a year. I think he's going to survive.
Like you say, go learn to code or do something. Do Do something for somebody with all your wealth, you ding dong.
I'm
That's
with
all
you.
I got. Thank
I'm with you.
bro,
I
for
appreciate
what
it,
you
man.
do.
And I hope that we do get some late night shows that are like back on the right track. I think you could find some people that all of America would love, like all of America. Again, I think a guy like Tim Allen would be a fantastic choice to bring into ABC and bridge that gap between the right and the left. Maybe the left wouldn't want him because he's a bit too conservative. But I think people have fond memories of Tim Allen. Somebody like that, I think could do something. Let's go to Michael in Franklin. What's up, Mike?
Hi, Chris. I moved down here 2 years ago. I really enjoy your show. I think you're balanced and you're very articulate. The thing I wanted to share is I'm not Christian. I'm Jewish, but I really respected Charlie Kirk because he was Christ-like in my mind, and you know what? He treated everybody with respect, and he appealed to so many, and it's really a sin that they took his life for the whatever reason the motivation was. But I just think that he appealed to everyone that was a righteous person, no matter what religion you are.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, man, and I appreciate the call and I appreciate you tuning in. But Charlie, I mean, in his absence, am I the only one who looks at the Charlie videos and says, I need to be a better Christian? Am I the only man who looks at the Charlie videos and says, okay, I need to be a better husband? Am I the only one who's looking at this and saying I need to be a better father? I don't think so. And if that's the legacy you leave, that's a hell of a legacy. Let's go to Matt in Tennessee. What's up, Matt?
Hey, brother, reaching out to you to find out what all the cries are against gun violence when it comes to Charlie Kirk. Haven't heard one peep from Democrats against guns.
Isn't that amazing?
Since it's happened. It's amazing. Colors are bared, brother. Just keep up the good work. Keep us all happy out here, bud.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you for listening. Ryan in Petersburg, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, this celebration of Ryan. The only time I've ever known people celebrating was in war. We celebrated Taliban later getting killed during Obama's era and stuff. I don't think it's right. Any God-fearing person would maybe breathe a sigh of relief because of their beliefs and stuff.
Yep.
But the celebration is purely ungodly.
Oh yeah, and I mean it's downright demonic when you see some of these videos of these people celebrating. It's insane.
Yeah. But the free speech, that's a slippery slope. I hope we can figure out how to do it, but it's a slippery slope.
I mean, listen, man, pendulums are swinging. They wanted us they wanted us silenced. They wanted us canceled. They rejoiced when Tucker was taken off the air. They rejoiced when we lost our jobs because we didn't want to take a COVID vaccine. They rejoiced so many different times. I have no time for their crocodile tears. Freedom of speech does not equal freedom from repercussions. And if you're losing money every single day on your show, you got to be even more careful. Even more careful. They weren't. They preached to that radical left minority, which I say minority, but that 25% who are okay with cheering on political violence, that 25% that believes in political violence, that's who he was broadcasting to. Let's make no mistake about it. And they cheered it. They cheered it. Obama was given a talk yesterday, and he brought up how he disagreed with Charlie Kirk's message. And Obama even understands how bad these optics are for the left. Because when the audience reacted to his comments, Obama had to calm them down. I'll bring you that on the way. You're gonna want to see it. It's definitely it's more visual. We can do the play-by-play on the radio. Join us on YouTube and Rumble if you want to see the video. And real quick before we go, put this on the stream. Brian Stelter from CNN reached out to Brendan Carr over at the FCC if he had any comment now that ABC's pulled Jimmy Kimmel's show, and he reacted with a GIF. And the gift is of Dwayne Schrute and Michael Scott raising the roof in the office, which I love it. We do a little bit of trolling. It's 1022 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You ready for the bee puns? Because I'm doing my Busy Bee commercial, so there's going to be a lot of them. The savings are buzzing. I warned you. Full disclosure, I warned you. It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee. Best prices of the year event going on right now. With any heating repair service, you're going to get a free dryer vent cleaning. That's going to protect your home, and you're going to feel safer on Busy Bee. If you need a new HVAC unit, check out these stingers. The puns are overflowing. My pun cup overflowing. A Goodman 14.3 SEER 2-ton split heat pump, just $79.95 with a 10-year parts warranty and a 2-year labor warranty. A Rude 14.3 SEER 2-ton with 10 kilowatt heat, only $89.95. Or upgrade to the Rude 16 SEER 2-ton for $99.95. Celebrate Grandparents' Day all month long. Beehive members are going to be able to give a free Beehive Club membership to one set of grandparents. It's Busy Bee's way of honoring family. They also got some plumbing deals, $500 off water and drain repipes, $300 off tank to tankless water heaters, and more. If you want these deals, give Busy Bee a buzz. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Louie producing today. King Louie. That's how I refer to him.
What's up, Chris?
You're the only King Louie that I've ever respected. You know that, right?
I appreciate it.
Louie's awesome. I don't know what Mason took off work. He's going to a concert.
He's going to a concert?
He's going to the 21 Pilots concert, I guess.
Oh, he's going to turn up.
He's car stereo or is it car radio? That's my favorite 21 Pilots song. They're pretty good. Do you listen to 21 Pilots or are you not your speed?
Yeah, not in my. It's everywhere.
We'd have Tupac, and then we'd have Dolly, and then we'd have the Wiggles. And you know what I mean? It's like, what is going on in that house? Like, don't ask any questions. Hey, on the way, we got a lot of questions asked. Ryan Morrow is going to be joining the show. He's an investigative journalist, and he's got receipts. And I'm really excited to have this conversation because Donald Trump has designated Antifa a terror organization. We understand that the FBI is investigating groups like Armed Queers SLC. And Ryan did some investigative journalism. He found out that the Soros and the Open Societies Foundation, you know Soros, the guy who can pack his luggage just right underneath his eyes in those bags, they have donated $80 million to domestic terrorist, criminal, and pro-terror groups, not just here in the United States, but globally. And he brought the receipts. It's going to be a really interesting conversation. That's going to happen after the news with Joan Jones. So hang out for that. As I was saying that armed queers for SLC, this Charlie Kirk clip popped into my head where Charlie had said to a woman, "Can you define queer?" Because when I was a kid growing up, that was a big insult. Do you remember that? Like you weren't supposed to say that. You would get canceled for calling someone queer. And now they use it as a badge of honor. So just real quick, I wanted to play that Charlie clip where he talks about what can you define queer? Can you define that?
I'm a queer person.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
When I grew up, calling someone queer was like a slur.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what that means? I mean that sincerely. And how is it different than just saying you're lesbian or bisexual or gay?
So it can be different for everyone. It's a spectrum just like anything else. And for me personally, I like everyone.
No, but what does queer mean though?
Queer, it's just a label.
What does the label mean?
It's different for everyone.
I'm not trying to put you as a trap though. I mean this because when I grew up, if I called somebody queer, I would get in trouble. Just give me like a working definition.
Yeah, so queer is just something that you identify as with your sexuality. It can be related to gender too.
Right, but how do you know once you achieve queer? Can you give me saying that anybody can be it doesn't tell me what that thing is. That makes sense?
So it's literally just a identity.
Right, okay. But right, but like what is that identity? For example, if I were to say I'm a conservative, let me give an example.
Yeah.
A conservative is someone who believes in small government, strong borders, American exceptionalism, the Constitution. How would you then give a definition of queer that someone looking at could say, oh, that is queer, like connect the dots?
If you're not watching on YouTube, you don't see her do the arms up emoji like, meh, I don't know. You also didn't see Charlie face palming. There's a reason why you want to watch us on YouTube and Rumble. You get all the video elements for all the audio you hear on your radio. Ryan Morrow joins the show next after the news with Joan Jones, which starts right now on Super Talk. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Cabinet Makeovers. I've been telling you for a couple weeks now, we got these new cabinets installed in the house, and they're pullouts, which are just amazing. They have absolutely changed my life. My wife floats around the kitchen now. If you want your wife to float around the kitchen, you got to talk to Cabinet Makeovers. This is a family-owned company serving Middle Tennessee for over 45 years, and everything they do, everything is Tennessee-made. Every cabinet, pull-out, drawer, all-wood construction, full extension, soft-close glide. The craftsmanship is top-notch, and their team has decades of experience, and you can feel that in the work. But here's what really makes them special. They lead with biblical values, okay? When they came to my home, my kids, I got 4 kids, they're getting homeschooled. There's always lots of questions. Mr. Dan, that's the owner. Mr. Dan, can we turn the screwdriver? Dan says, yeah, absolutely. Mr. Dan, what are you doing there? Mr. Dan, what are you doing here? What are you doing there? Hey, he answers every question. And then he spends even a little bit of time talking with the kids about Jesus. If you want a cabinet company, you can find any company. But if you want a cabinet company that doesn't hate you, talk to Cabinet Makeovers. This is really going to make your kitchen special, but they don't just stop at kitchens. They do custom closets, pantries, and cabinetry for every room in your house, all built with that same Tennessee pride and biblical values that guide their business. So do what I did. Call Cabinet Makeovers today. 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010. You can ask for Christina. You can ask for Dan. No matter who you're talking to, your day is going to be made. See examples of their work and what they can do for your kitchen. CabinetMakeoversTN.com. $10:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can watch it, YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. You can listen to it anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial, all the things. Phone lines are always open to you, 615-737-9986. Really, really excited about my next guest. I think that this reporting is fantastic, and I'm excited to share it with you. Ryan Morrow is joining us on the show. Ryan, how are you, man?
I'm doing right, especially after yesterday, so it's great to be on.
Man, I feel like your reporting took on a whole new level yesterday after Donald Trump declared Antifa a terrorist organization. I want to know how you think that your reporting is going to kind of lead the way for what we might see coming down the pike. But you discovered smoking guns, $80 million from the Soros Open Society Foundation that is going directly to domestic terrorist, criminal, and pro-terror groups, not just here in America, but globally. How did you get off on this research, and what did you find?
So what happened was I did a report with my employer, Capital Research Center, into the anti-Israel protests, where we identified over 150 pro-terrorism groups manufacturing all of that, what you're seeing across the country. Like, it wasn't a collection of some good guys and bad guys. It was entirely bad guy made. And so then I said, well, let's look into the funding into those actual groups. And obviously you would think, George Soros. All right, so I look at George Soros' stuff. And what blew my mind was that there was reporting on some money going to this group or that group, but there'd be a big space in between, so it was in drips and drabs. I'm like, I don't think anybody went through all the grants and put it all together into one thing. So I'm going to do that. And it took me a little bit less than a year, I guess. And what I found was, after going through all the published grants, Soros's own records, over $80 million going from his Open Society foundations to at least 54 groups that are unequivocally 100% engaged in domestic crime or domestic terrorism and crime on U.S. soil, or are pro-terrorism, like they celebrated the October 7th attacks in the U.S. or abroad in places like Gaza. Or are associated with foreign terrorist organizations, like the highest bar possible. And so that's what I released with Glenn Beck yesterday when he guest hosted Charlie Kirk's show on exactly 1 week after, Charlie's passing, which I thought was fitting.
I mean, and that must have been an honor to be on the Charlie Kirk show on a day like that.
Unbelievably emotional. And I held it together during the show, but not so much before and after.
But the reporting that you're bringing to the table directly impacts what we've been talking about with Charlie Kirk. Because
that's the whole point. I wanted to punch back. That's why I finalized it.
So one of the things that stood out to me in your reporting is that of this $80 million, at least almost $23 million, a little over, went to 7 groups directly active in domestic terrorism and criminality on U.S. soil. And I got to ask you, during the Summer of Love, I would always make the joke, albeit tongue in cheek, that if you're a good Antifa member, the Brick Fairy will pay you a visit, and there'll be a pallet of bricks just outside your house, as long as you've been a good Antifa member all year long. Is that what you're finding, that this is actually going into violence and crime?
I am. And what really tipped me off to this, what was so interesting, was that when I was looking into the anti-Israel groups, I noticed this trick they had that I hadn't seen reported elsewhere, which is that they would put together these activism toolkits, which is basically just a PDF document on how to answer questions and organize a protest and things like that. And so most people don't look into it because it's innocuous. But then I would look at the hyperlinks where they would say, oh, so for more information on protesting, go here. And in some cases, they would go directly to the actual URL on an anarchist website about like how to burn things down. And then other times it would just be a link to that anarchist website to something about like, this is how you nicely talk to people. But they knew if you're driving people to the anarchist website for that, when you don't have to, they know when they go to that website, they're going to see the instructions for everything else.
Yeah.
It was pretty smart that way. And that's why it was missed. But then I was going through the grants. And by the way, if you go to Soros's foundation's website, they say they don't disclose it all. They say if disclosure, this is almost funny. If disclosure can be detrimental and put the operations of the organization or their grantees in danger, that they're not going to disclose it.
Oh, nice.
So of course they thought nothing would happen because they had this stuff on their website. Like, this is the stuff they're comfortable releasing.
Yeah.
So what is being hidden?
Well, and then it begs the question: if Ryan Morrow can find this information, why can't investigators?
I am an investigator. No, I'm not messing with you. It's you know what it is? I'm trying to say, Glenn, I think it's almost like too obvious. Like, first of all, why didn't I do it earlier?
Well, but
I assumed everyone else had.
I don't even mean like journalists. I mean FBI and things, law enforcement. Why haven't they investigated these?
Oh, well, I guess we can't say that they haven't, but why hasn't anything happened? It seems like they get very fixated on the micro because that's the stronger case. So, like the guy that is going to go burn the building, in my experience in providing intelligence to authorities, that's what like something that I could get them moving on. But then this like macro stuff where it's like a little bit more opaque, that's a lot harder to get movement on and to have it sustained because there is just enough plausible deniability. People don't realize how hard it is to get an investigation authorized and then get someone prosecuted and have that high level of evidence so that no matter who you put in on trial, whoever's in the jury will go your way. That's a really high standard of evidence. So to people with common sense, you say, of course, this person should go away, but they're not playing to people with common sense. They're playing to a jury who could be anybody.
It's fair. Do you think we have a window of time here, though, where the FBI could go after these groups, could go after RICO, could go after their tax-exempt status? Is there an opening here to destroy these networks?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there is. And you can bet that I'm in contact with a lot of people as a result of what we released yesterday. And the methods that people are talking about, declaring Antifa a terrorist organization, which is a more complicated matter, RICO and some other things, I think there are far easier ways to take these groups down. And I know that would work. Like, for example, I point to the part of the IRS code that says that you can't encourage or engage in criminality as part of a nonprofit status. Like, of course you can't. So revoke those statuses. And there's this group called Truth Out that's like really embedded in like the Code Pink, China linked Hamas, pro-Hamas network. And Truth Out actually said in this panicked report, after my last report that's similar to this one came out, they actually said that this research and basically the argument we're making is an existential threat that could deliver a quick death to most of the groups, and those that remain would suffer mass chaos. So they've confirmed that we've figured out how to beat them.
So I guess my question would be, and you said you've been in contact with people, I assume, FBI and things of that nature. My question would be, do you think that they're going to go after them that way?
I do. Based on what's out there in public, some of the strategies that are being put forth, it's not that I disagree with them. I just don't think they're the best. And a lot of the ideas I've had and stuff that I've done in providing intelligence to law enforcement, I know that there's other ways. For example, you can designate a foreign entity connected to Antifa or Hamas or whoever as a foreign terrorist organization or sanction them as a specially designated terrorist. And then that can help give you the basis for an investigation and prosecution to something linked to that entity overseas that exists in the United States. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to go about this. I'm not sure that even necessarily RICO is the best way to do it, or this declaring Antifa as a terrorist organization is, depending on how that goes and what that entails, I'm not sure what that actually accomplishes. But there's a bunch of things that can be done, but you've got to involve people who really study this to know about all these avenues.
If you were the decision maker in this process, what's your step one?
Step one is I would just rip away the tax-exempt statuses. And some people say that there's a long process for it, which is, if there is, I assume that's like an IRS policy, then that's got to be changed. If Congress has to pass a law, I'm sure they would pass it very, very quickly. No, because the idea that the IRS can't revoke the tax-exempt status of a nonprofit for engaging in criminal activity without going through a long process, when you know during that long process they'll just set up another nonprofit entity, is crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I just feel like the time to go after them is now. I mean, especially after what we've seen, given the assassination of Charlie Kirk, given the revelations of Operation Arctic Frost, where we now know that under Joe Biden's DOJ, the FBI was investigating groups like Turning Point USA, where I worked. It was funny, when we'd be in the office, we would joke during the 2024 election, like, hey, if we get raided by the FBI, we're not doing anything wrong. We just think that we're under investigation. And then it gets exposed. Is there any excuse why they wouldn't go after these groups at this point in time?
No. An excuse? No. There could be reasons, but definitely not an excuse. I've seen, and again, you can just see this in the public. Like, there's just times where things don't happen because of a multitude of human errors. But what's different this time is that everyone is focused on this one thing, and you're having presidential directives where Trump is, who can talk about a million issues in one day, is uncommonly focused on going after Soros and his network, and then the broader network as part of that, very uncommonly focused on that. So I think everything's lined up. I would be shocked if something doesn't happen.
If we don't move quick enough, are there fears that it could be forgotten?
Under this administration, no.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think what has Charlie Kirk's martyrdom, we're going to be thinking and talking about that for a long time. I said someone in some ways, but, obviously not in all ways, it's similar to 9/11. Like, it's one of those moments in American history where everyone says, where it becomes a turning point in some ways. And so I actually put it in like that same box. So that if there's any good that can come from this, bringing down this entire infrastructure, that's that can give us some comfort here.
Amen. Hey, I think your reporting is fantastic. Ryan Morrow wrote, exclusive, Soros Open Society gave $80 million to pro-terror groups for Capital Research Center. How can we keep up with you, and how can we stay in tune with your reporting, Ryan?
You can follow me on Twitter, Ryan Morrow, Mauro. You can also go to my employer's website, which is capitalresearch.org.
Hey, man, I really appreciate the reporting. I appreciate the journalism. Real journalism is just, it's a rare sight these days, and thank you for doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, anytime you have an open invitation, any news scoops that you're breaking, you got. I'm gonna make sure you have my number. I think I gave you my number. Just text me.
Yeah.
You have an open invitation. All right, brother.
All right, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thank you. That's Ryan Morrow at Ryan Mauro on Twitter. He's got a good report here, and you can find that whole PDF breakdown of everything that we just talked about at capitalresearch.org. We'll be back in moments. It's 10:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC. They sponsor the show. I love the guys. Everybody that works at the company is so sweet, so awesome, and they'll test your water for free. Why would they need to test your water? You could have some nasty stuff in your water. The water that you're bathing in, drinking, making coffee. You're bathing your kids or your grandkids in it. Would you bathe them in the water if you knew that there was E. coli, bacteria, chlorine, iron, and sulfur? Of course not. Of course not. Better Water's going to test your water for free, okay? If you got any of that nasty stuff in there, well, they offer a range of options to clean it up. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. This is a local company, too, based right out of Smyrna. They serve all of Middle Tennessee, and they're actually already treating the water at your local hospitals and the coffee shops around town. You probably tasted their work, full disclosure. But it's time to stop drinking the junk out of your tap. It's time to stop bathing in it. It's time to stop showering in it. It's time to give Better Water a call, at least for the peace of mind to know that it's not in your water. 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063. Call Better Water today or check them out online, betterwater.com.
President Trump about to depart the UK, but not before announcing a technology deal worth billions. We'll tell you about that and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can watch us YouTube, Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, do the things, please. I got a lot of kids that I need to feed, and you guys help me do that. Otherwise, it's bread and water. So it's up to you. Up to you. It's looking like a bread and water day if you don't subscribe and share. I'm just letting you know.
Not even any beans.
No beans.
Just bread and water.
What do they say? What do we say on the internet? Beans and deans, baby. Beans and deans. All right, so we were talking to Ryan Morrow a moment ago, who had some fantastic reporting on Soros' Open Society Foundation giving $80 million to pro-terror groups. He found the receipts. A lot of people are saying, how can we do something? How can we, the people, help fight against these terror networks? I would say, for starters, share this reporting far and wide. If you're on social media, at Chris Hand on Air, I've retweeted the link. Just go and retweet Ryan's reporting. Read it, learn it, share it with people that you know. Have conversations about it. It's a big deal. We know that Armed Queers SLC was doing training sessions with the same Antifa cells that were responsible for the Alvarado ICE facility shooting. And now we have more reporting that just broke this morning. And shout out to, I forget which listener sent it to me, but one of you guys on the text line sent this to me. Daily Wire has a new report out. Members of Leninist, Transgender, Socialist Rifle Association linked to string of violent attacks founded by a she-it. That was the pronouns. And once led by Kilashandra Killips, SRA comrades are charged with firebombing Tesla dealerships, shooting police officers. This is a 10,000-member strong group called the Socialist Rifle Association, and they've been conducting weapons trainings for transgender and Marxist-Leninist extremists, and its members have been linked to at least 4 major crimes, including the firebombing of Tesla dealerships, a Daily Wire investigation found. And while the Daily Wire investigation found this, Democrats will say we have no idea what the motive was. And it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Members stock up on assault rifles and tactical gear like gas masks and receive membership cards bearing an image of Karl Marx and the quote, "Any attempt to disarm workers must be frustrated by force if necessary." Videos show them preparing for engagements that look more like war than self-defense, running through the woods, hitting long-range targets. A common logo is the transgender flag with an assault rifle and the phrase, "Defend equality." This is the ideology we need to stamp and root out. This is what we need to fight against. It's staring us dead in the face. We can choose to acknowledge it or we can choose to ignore it. Now, I'm gonna do what I'm doing, and we're gonna amplify this stuff. Shout out to the Daily Wire and Luke Rosiak, who wrote this article. I'm gonna tweet it out. That way you can find it on my X account at Chris Hand on Air, along with the reporting from Ryan Morrow, who's just a fantastic guest. We'll get that podcasted as well, so you can share the interview with anybody who is interested. It is 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. President Trump departing the UK, and at a joint news conference beforehand with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer today, he capped the state visit with this announcement.
We have just signed a historic technology prosperity deal, one of a kind, to ensure our country's lead the next great technological revolution side by side.
Prime Minister Starmer.
U.S. capital and entrepreneurial spirit combined with British ideas and ingenuity. The UK is one of the world's largest economies. Maybe not quite on the scale of the United States, I concede, but my word, we punch above our weight.
Technology prosperity deal, as it's called, is worth billions in cross-border investment and cooperation in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, nuclear energy. President Trump talked about the ongoing wars and his efforts to end them, specifically Russia's unrelenting attacks on Ukraine.
The one that I thought would be easiest would be because of my relationship with President Putin, but he's let me down. He's really let me down.
And a recent report revealed cluster bombs have killed or injured more than 1,200 civilians in Ukraine since Russia's invasion. And Gaza?
I want an end. I want the hostages released. And I think it's going to be okay, but it has been a brutal period of time.
Hamas leader Halil al-Hayya is reportedly in Cairo to revive ceasefire talks. Investigators in Rockland County, New York now say a student there faces multiple felonies related to child pornography. He's accused of scamming other students into sending compromising pictures of themselves.
A lot of these cases, they end up out of the state, out of the country mostly. So it is a little unusual and a little troubling.
Male students coming forward saying they thought they were exchanging photos with girls on social media, but it was this suspect. 76 days after deadly floods hit the region, Governor Greg Abbott back in the Texas Hill Country yesterday. ABC's Jim Ryan says he was there bearing gifts.
With at least 135 deaths and billions in property damage from the July 4th floods, Governor Greg Abbott says
the emergency doesn't end the day the water stops rising.
The literal flood was met by a flood of support in fundraising events like country star George Strait's benefit concert. Abbott brought checks totaling $7 million in donations to flood victims like Reese Whitley, who says his small portion will go a long way.
We've lost literally everything.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. We're on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Those are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe. Every single platform I just listed, besides the FM dial, has a share button. And we appreciate you hitting that share button so that way we can increase the digital footprint of the radio station, so that way we can bring truth to as many people as humanly possible. We also, we're doing something, my wife and I, along with our friends at Burrow Holistic Health. If you would like to have a letter brought to the Phoenix Memorial at Turning Point USA headquarters for Charlie Kirk, I am going to the memorial service this weekend. And our friends at Burrow Holistic Health on Northfield Boulevard in Murfreesboro said, you can use our location as a drop point for letters. So if it's on your heart, anybody wants to get something to that memorial, we're not asking for donations. There's other places for you to do that that are much more official, tpusa.com. But if you wanted a letter, a prayer, a little pocket Jesus or something like that to be placed at the memorial from you, I will make sure that happens. And our friends at Borough Holistic Health, they're helping as well. They said just bring them by their location, Northfield Boulevard in Murfreesboro. They're open today, tomorrow, and Saturday morning. And then when we're leaving town, we're going to grab those letters and those prayers from everybody in Middle Tennessee, and we're going to drop them off at that memorial at headquarters on Saturday night. So if that's something you want to do, if it's on your heart, by all means, let's make it happen. I just know that there's so many people that want to go to the memorial service that just aren't going to be able to. And as we were talking with Dr. Underwood and her husband, Jamie, they wanted to go to the memorial, but they were like, we just got too many moving parts. Who's going to take care of the farm? Who's going to take care of the office and the patients? And I said, well, give me something and I'll bring it. And this idea kind of developed that, well, there's probably a lot of people that feel the exact same way as you guys. So if you feel that way and you want something to be placed at the memorial from you for Charlie, we'll make that happen for you. Again, no donations, please. And just letters, prayers, drawings if you have them, and we'll get them to that memorial at headquarters. So you can hit me up on social media if you need more info. I got it all on my Instagram account at Chris Hand on Air. The specifics, the address, all the stuff. So we're doing that, and if you want in, make something happen. We appreciate it. There's a lot of news to cover today. The big stories are really circled around Jimmy Kimmel and also Antifa being designated a terrorist organization. Let's start with Jimmy Kimmel, who the left seems to be far more upset with Jimmy Kimmel being canceled than Charlie Kirk being shot. And you can dig up old tweets from Jimmy Kimmel, who had no problem with Donald Trump being removed and deplatformed from Twitter. You can dig up old clips from politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who had no issue with Tucker Carlson being fired, actually said on her Instagram account, deplatforming works. Yet today, we get crocodile tears from members of the left. They are so upset in so many ways. They're outraged by it. They're outraged. Jen Psaki called it a First Amendment issue. Chuck Schumer said this is what Xi Jinping would do. I'm just like, do you guys think we don't remember what happened during the 4 years under Joe Biden? Do you think that we have forgotten what you did to us? The shadow bans, the outright bans, the silencing? Do you think we forgot that you wanted us fired for not getting a vaccine? Save your tears. Your boos mean nothing. We've seen what makes you cheer. So screw you guys. Screw all of you guys. Now, that being said, the other big story is Antifa, terror organization. There's another story that's percolating, which is interesting. We often talk about how these individuals get radicalized, and we point towards universities, and we point towards the internet. The internet's a big one, and I'll tell you what, there is a heartbreaking photo, and I do believe this is heartbreaking, from the mother of the assassin of Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson. It's about, I don't know, it was 2013. She posted this photo on Facebook. Our loving weaponized autists got this before they locked down their Facebook pages. I love my weaponized autists on the internet. Like, God bless them, doing the work that we, so we don't have to. But they found this picture from Christmas Day, 2013, and it's the mother of Tyler Robinson, and she's celebrating the gift that they got their son. And she said, "Well, looks like we're not going to see or hear from Tyler anymore." And the picture that accompanies it is a young man who's, he's much younger. It's like a decade ago, 12 years ago. And he's sitting there and he's got his headphones on and he's staring into a computer screen. Just locked into the computer screen. That's where a lot of the radicalization starts on the internet. And you can point to any radicalization, whether it's the transgender insanity or whether it's being a left-wing militant. It starts online. House Oversight Committee understands that, and now they have invited the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify before Congress on the left-wing radicalization of its users and open incitement to commit politically motivated acts. It's time to face the hard truth. We need answers. Chairman Comer put this on the oversight.house.gov website. This is from yesterday. Today, the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Chairman James Comer invited the chief executive officers of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify at a full committee hearing on October 8th, 2025. The hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated acts. The politically motivated assassination of Charlie Kirk claimed the life of a husband and father, an American patriot. In the wake of this tragedy and amid other acts of politically motivated violence, Congress has a duty to oversee the online platforms that radicals have used to advance political violence. To prevent future radicalization of violence, the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit must appear before the Oversight Committee and explain what actions they will take to ensure their platforms are not exploited for nefarious purposes, said Chairman Comer. That hearing is going to take place on October 8th, 2025. That is going to be one that we are definitely going to need to pay attention to. A lot of this radicalization starts on those platforms, particularly Discord and Reddit. I think you can make the argument for Steam and Twitch, but I think that the dangerous ones are Discord and Reddit. I'm not here to shut down speech, but I do think that these CEOs need to be held accountable when you have this kind of dialogue going on and it's leading to real-world violence. J.D. Vance yesterday sat down on Fox News, gave an interview. J.D. Vance he's just been impressive lately. I'm not going to lie to you. I know some people question J.D. Vance. They question his authenticity. I feel like he's pretty authentic myself. People say, but he's a Peter Thiel guy. It's like, oh, all right. Well, every politician has a backer of some sort. I don't know. I'm judging him by what I see, and when I see that he's making the statement that we need to go after the people who are encouraging and funding this ideology, I think that he's absolutely right.
If you are encouraging people to commit acts of violence against the United States government or against your fellow Americans, absolutely, you're involved in a terrorist movement. I don't know enough about that particular organization, but what you increasingly see, Jesse, is you see people in the trans community and other members of the far left who are saying they are so threatened by negative rhetoric that they must take arms and attack people. If your movement is telling you to commit acts of violence against people for speaking words that you don't like, number one, you're evil, and number two, you are engaged in a terrorist movement. Yep. And that's part of what we have to root out in the White House. And this is very important, Jesse. I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've talked to Stephen Miller probably 7 times in the past 2 days. We are working very hard to ensure that the funding networks for left-wing violence, that the radicalization networks for left-wing violence, that if you encourage or fund your fellow Americans or anybody else to commit acts of violence because you disagree with political speech, you are going to be treated like a terrorist organization, and we're going to go after you.
I love it. And yesterday we saw Donald Trump designate Antifa a terrorist organization. This is a huge step forward. This should have been done years ago, but I'm grateful that it's getting done. Now, that being said, there's a lot to get to. We had Ryan Morrow on earlier, He's a reporter for Capital Research Center. He has a report out that you can find on my Twitter account, full PDF, all the receipts, Soros Open Society Foundation giving $80 million to pro-terror groups. Like, what the hell? Can we investigate this? It seems like we're going down that rabbit hole, and I'm here for it. Senator Markwayne Mullins, this was yesterday, I believe. He was on the Benny Johnson show, and he said that he's calling on the Treasury to freeze the assets of these left-wing billionaires who are funding this political violence and terrorism ideology online. And he says it without saying it, but he's talking about Soros. He's talking about the Open Societies Foundation.
Just want to pop something up from somebody who I know that you've worked with before in the House, Anna Polina Luna, who made a lot of news this morning, beginning to call out left-wing billionaires who are foreign, who fund militant organizations here that orchestrate violent riots. We know that they do this. We can trace the money back. They're calling for a full Treasury freeze on assets. Now, the vast majority of rich people on earth have assets here in our nation and have assets in American banks. Do you agree with this? if proven that these foreign left-wing billionaires are in fact inciting domestic terrorism?
If proven, 100%, without question. This is how you get to it. Like I said, there is a thin line that separates hate speech and freedom of speech to the violence. And when you step across that line, that's when we have the right to protect our republic, to protect our democracy, and those that live within it.
Let's go after all of these left-wing billionaires that are funding this stuff. All of them. Leave no stone unturned. And before we hear the hand-wringing from the Democratic Party, I would just, and they're, you know what they'll say, this is weaponization of government. Okay. Yep. Where have we seen that before? Oh, that's right. The Biden DOJ and the FBI literally tried to criminalize the First Amendment protected activity and other lawful actions by government officials to uphold democracy by challenging and questioning the compromised 2020 election. The Biden administration literally went after Trump, tried to destroy him. They tried to destroy his supporters. They tried to destroy the Republican Party. And the FBI, I don't trust them very much at all after what I saw. Operation Arctic Frost was revealed just a couple days ago. Senator Chuck Grassley, who I admit is far too old to be clinging onto power, but he revealed it during the Oversight Committee with Kash Patel. Operation Arctic Frost was used to target conservative groups, mind you, like Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. And just a little inside baseball for you. We all knew, every single one of us in that office during the 2024 election said, we better win this thing, because if we don't, all of our homes are going to be raided by the FBI. That's not to say that we were doing anything illegal, but we knew what we were up against with the weaponization of the DOJ. The FBI released, a whistleblower released the FBI white paper, and it details the extraordinary scope of the investigation into President Trump, reveals Catherine Herridge. Codenamed Arctic Frost, it described a multifaceted conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 election. They took investigative steps, conducted over 150 interviews, 400 subpoenas served. They were doing search warrants. They were looking at electronic devices. They were going into iCloud accounts. They were going into email accounts. They even dug through President Trump's Twitter. They had false fraud claims, false elector scheme, false lawsuits, state pressure, false DOJ letter, financial fraud, and more. Chuck Grassley released all of these documents, and they did. They targeted Turning Point USA. They didn't target us because we were doing something illegal. They targeted us because we were effective. Now, I would say we need to take that same energy and channel it towards the left-wing groups and go after the crimes, because there are crimes. We've seen it. You've seen it in the protests. You've seen it in the violence. You've seen it in the assassinations. I fully believe that we need to go after these people with everything we have. We have a window of opportunity here that I'm worried if we don't channel this the right way, we're going to miss the window. I pray that we don't, but I do fear that we might. On the way, I have more from that J.D. Vance interview on Fox News earlier. Plus, Scott Jennings, he was on CNN last night. I'll play this next. He was on CNN last night. And he's at the panel with Abby Phillips and all those people. And he asked them a simple question. He said, everyone here acknowledges the thousands upon thousands of people who have taken to social media to celebrate Charlie Kirk's murder, right? Like, you guys all acknowledge that? Their answer probably won't surprise you, but I'll bring it to you when we get back. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. If you're dealing with pain, $12 could change your life. I'm telling you the honest truth. It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you got back pain, neck pain, knee pain, ruining your life, impacting your day-to-day, then listen up, because this is going to change everything. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has the Big Daddy Trump special, $12 for the BDT. That gets you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. You heard me right. All of that for only $12. See, Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley just want to get you back to a pain-free life. And they don't want to do surgery. They're not looking to prescribe you some opioids, and they're not trying to inject you with God knows what. What they're going to do is they're going to treat your back pain, your neck pain, your sciatica, your numbness, your bulging discs with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, or even anti-gravity machines. Again, no surgery, no injections, no opioids. Grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. That's the key part. We're going to fix it. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 or find them online, painisbad.com.
A Middle Tennessee Police Department and school resource officers reviewing what they say are distasteful and immature TikTok videos posted recently taken on school property. We'll tell you about that at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You know, if you didn't give your kids a cell phone or allow them on TikTok, you wouldn't have to worry about it at all. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. You know what's harder than taking away, or what's easier than taking away a cell phone from a kid?
Not giving them one.
Amen, brother. Amen. There's options out there. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be able to communicate with your kids. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But and I've said this over and over, and it's not an advertisement. It's not. It's just what we do as parents, and I feel the need to tell you guys. We got a Bark Watch. We program the numbers that my daughter can call and text. Spoiler alert, there's only 4 numbers in there right now. Mom, dad, and grandparents. There's options. There's options out there without giving the kids unfettered access to the internet. The TikTok stuff's only going to lead to problems. All right, so Scott Jennings, I sold this before we got to the last break. Scott Jennings last night on CNN asking the panel if they'll acknowledge that people are online, thousands upon thousands of people are online celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination. The CNN panel. What a bunch of clowns.
Though, everybody here acknowledges that there have been thousands upon thousands of people, ordinary people, who have taken to social media to celebrate this, yes or no?
I don't know about that.
You know,
I don't know.
I have high school friends who are.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I just think we should we got to be factual about this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you know the scope. I don't know the scope.
Are you serious? I feel like this is worse than burying your head in the sand. You're just lying. I mean, Barack Obama the other night, he's on stage, he's giving some speech. I would be lying to you if I said I cared enough to figure out what he was talking about. But I don't. But this clip has been going around where Obama is saying he doesn't agree with Charlie Kirk's ideas, and the audience starts clapping. This is post-assassination. The audience starts clapping. And Obama understands how bad the optics are of this for the left. And if you're not watching on YouTube or Rumble, then you're not going to see the video. But as the crowd starts clapping, Obama puts his hand up and asks them to please stop. Because even he understands how bad this makes the Democrat Party look, because the audience is essentially cheering that Charlie Kirk is gone.
Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family.
I mean, the leftist voter is so overjoyed about this Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm really trying not to use anger. Like, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. It gets harder every day, especially when you're dealing with these types of people. Even Obama, even Obama understands that this is bad optics. J.D. Vance on the kind of person that feels joy over the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Well, one way you wrap your head around it is disgusting evil. What kind of person looks at a grieving young mother, at two beautiful young kids, and feels a certain sense of celebration? And I actually think, I don't know if it's a couple people, I don't know if it's thousands of people, but I would ask you, if you were the kind of person who feels joy at the death of a grieving mother and grieving children, what bad decisions have led you to where you are today, and why don't you get back on the right path? I really believe that there are people who recognize that the joy that they're feeling, the celebration they're feeling at Charlie's death, is evidence of evil within them, and they have to extinguish that evil. I think that. And I've even seen some social media posts where people have said, you know, I was feeling kind of good about this guy dying, and now I realize that meant there was something wrong in me. That's another way I think that God is speaking to people through Charlie's death, is these incredibly evil people celebrating it. We're seeing it. We're seeing that evil in the public eye for all to see. But I also think people are turning away from that evil because they recognize that it is so opposite of everything good and true and righteous in the world.
He's right. He's right. And I've seen those videos too. I don't know if you've seen those videos where there's quite a few videos where people are saying, man, I was a leftist, and after seeing what I'm seeing, I can't identify with these guys anymore. I'm turning away from this. This is wrong. And those people should be celebrated. The other individuals, the vile leftist losers celebrating this death, you can make the argument that some of them are just absolutely possessed and they're never going to be redeemed. But I think that they all need a heavy dose of reality and a heavy dose of Jesus. We got a lot more on the way. Your phone calls as well, 615-737-9986. It's 11:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Right now, we got a crash, drivers. It is actually not a crash. It's a stalled vehicle. Right shoulder is blocked. This is going to be 65 southbound, just past the 2465 North interchange. And here in Middle Tennessee, the Nolensville Police Department and school resource officers are reviewing what they say are distasteful and immature TikTok videos posted recently. Channel 4 says the videos reportedly show incidents that took place on school property, but officials have not said exactly what is in those videos. Authorities say they're aware of other videos circulating online, and they're reviewing what to do about it. President Trump is departing his state visit to the UK. He and Prime Minister Keir Starmer expressing their disappointment and frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin during a joint press conference.
tougher on Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying that Putin has shown his true face recently, and he has mounted the biggest attacks since the war began. And Starmer says that Putin is not showing the actions of someone who wants peace, and says that he and the president talked about how there has to now be decisive pressure put on Putin to get him to reach a peace agreement. But the president, though, just kept saying repeatedly that Putin has let him down and that he is disappointed that they haven't been able to reach an agreement to settle this war.
Right now in Wilson County, staggered start times under consideration for students in Wilson County schools. 3 different waves, 45 minutes apart. Here's Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac.
The goal is to maximize the number of routes each bus can take and cover, and then help with the ongoing bus driver shortage. Board members are discussing sending out transportation surveys, giving parents, students, and staff a chance to weigh in on how these changes could impact academics, attendance, and after-school activities. Now, the school board, they will be discussing that survey coming up at 6 o'clock this evening.
The district has 8 open driver positions, according to a recent report, and that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Cover Nash. I talk about Shane Ring all the time, and if you need health insurance, but you want it explained to you simply, that's how I need things explained to me. Shane's the guy for you. If you're tired of insurance that feels like a math test, confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that bites back, you got to talk to Cover Nash. They'll make it simple. They have a brand new nationwide PPO plan that's going to give you the freedom to pick your own doctors anywhere in the U.S. No referrals, no red tape. How does this sound for you? Just a $250 deductible, a flat $50 copay for any doctor, even specialists. Outpatient surgeries, $250 copay. Hospital stays, just $1,000 total. Free preventative care, colonoscopies, not that anybody's excited about that. Mammograms, physicals, because it's ACA compliant. And here's the kicker. No surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that's not the perfect fit, well, Cover Nash works with 75 different companies, and they'll find something that works for your budget and your needs. What you need to do is visit covernash.com or pick up the phone and call Shane Ring right now. 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Cover Nash, finally making health insurance simple. Covernash.com. It's 11:37. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial, watch us, YouTube, Rumble, hit like, hit subscribe. Find me on every social media platform, at Chris Hand on Air. That's at Chris Hand on Air. If you follow me right now, I'll follow you back. I'll make sure to do that. We got a few more things to get to here. It's been a wild week. I said to my wife last night, it feels like it's been, 3 months and 2 hours at the exact same time. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's just been insane. Just insane. I got some stuff. We played that Obama clip. He signaled for the audience to stop clapping when he said that he didn't agree with Charlie Kirk's ideas, because he understood. He understood how bad the optics were of that. So he raised his hand and he said, and if you're watching on YouTube and Rumble, you see this. But right as he said, I don't agree with his ideas, the crowd starts clapping, and he puts his hands up because Obama understands the optics.
Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate.
And he puts his hand up and he shakes. He's like, no, please, no. Because as much as I don't like Barack Obama, he's a skilled politician. And he understands the optics of the left right now. And these rabid lunatics cheering this stuff on. Insane. He also implied last night that Trump was to blame for Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yeah, of course. Why not? Orange man bad. He said it was because of extreme personnel and policies that aroused violent opposition. This is from Breitbart. Obama was interviewed on stage by Steve Scully. This is at the Jefferson Educational Society in Erie, Pennsylvania. He said that Charlie Kirk's death was horrific. It was. But he made sure to recite a list of inaccurate, controversial statements from Kirk, including the false claim that Charlie Kirk claimed black women were stupid. Then Obama goes into a tirade about how Trump wanted to use Kirk's assassination as a rationale for trying to silence discussion around who we are as a country and what direction we should go. He then claimed that when he was in the White House, that extreme views were not there. He wasn't embracing extreme views. He wasn't empowering them. He wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind extremist views. And I saw this and I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Does anybody else remember if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon? Does anybody else remember the degradation of race relations while Obama was in office? When George Zimmerman, a Hispanic man, killed Trayvon Martin and white people got blamed? Nobody? No? Does anybody remember Obama on the campaign trail telling people to argue with their neighbors and get in their face? No? Weird.
If you want the next 4 years looking like the last 8, then I'm not your candidate. But if you want real change, if you want an economy that rewards work, and that works not just for Wall Street, but also for Main Street, if you want tax relief for the middle class and millions of new jobs, if you want health care you can afford and education so that your kids can compete, then Elko, I need you. I need you to go out and talk to your friends and talk to your neighbors. I want you to talk to them whether they're independent or whether they are Republican. I want you to argue with them and get in their face. And
mostly peaceful, though, of course, right? Also, all the promises, did any of them come true? Weird. Obama also embraced Black Lives Matter. And we saw what they did. They built so many playgrounds in schools that it's hard to keep track. I have a list here. That's the list of how many playgrounds and schools Black Lives Matter built. It's actually, they caused billions of dollars in damage. You know that. Nationwide chaos. The Obama administration was staffed with radicals, reports Breitbart. Not everyone from Obama's far-left past made it into the White House, such as Jeremiah Wright or Bill Ayers, but other people that had radical views held prominent roles. Anita Dunn claimed that Chinese communist Mao Zedong, the worst mass murderer in human history, was one of her most important personal philosophical sources of inspiration. No extremist views were embraced in the Obama White House. Fun fact, Does anybody ever remember Obama meeting with Louis Farrakhan? Yeah, he met with him before he was elected. They hid the photo for the entire 8 years that he was president because the media covered for Obama every single step of the way. But I mean, I didn't embrace radical views. Got it. On Tuesday, he did praise moderate Republicans as an alternative to Trump. Moderate Republicans like Utah Governor Spencer Cox, who people are so quick to praise. He's been stunning and brave. Spencer Cox vetoed a bill that would have kept boys out of the girls' bathroom. He's not exactly a Republican. And Charlie Kirk himself said that he should be disbarred from the Republican Party because he's so soft and such a rhino. So enough with the revisionist history on Utah Governor Spencer Cox. If anybody wants you to praise Spencer Cox, remind them that Obama says he's a great alternative to Trump. Nailed it. And there were moderate Republicans in office that he didn't want to work with. Guys like Paul Ryan. So, yeah. Obama. Never let a crisis go to waste, right? Never let a crisis go to waste. It's insane. J.D. Vance said that a lot of these people on the left, they need to look in the mirror and be honest with themselves. And I think that they do. They need that come to Jesus moment. And J.D. Vance lays it out in a way that he can.
Who grew up in a pretty normal family, actually had a pretty good home life, who was radicalized by the far left, by the social networks of the far left, by the ideas of the far left, and got so far down the path of radicalization that he killed my friend. That is not a both sides problem. My friend is dead because of left-wing political radicalization, and if you want to cut that out, then be honest about it and look yourself in the mirror.
That's the only way that we can really get over this hump and bridge that divide. Be honest with yourself, look in the mirror, and cut the bleep out. Oh, but Donald Trump. Got it. I mean, even last night on CNN, the gaslighting continues. As it tends to. Scott Jennings, the lone voice of sanity, took on Montel Williams, who's now I guess he's a CNN contributor. I don't know. I thought Montel Williams was just doing like the "you're not the father" stuff, and now we have to take him serious. They didn't. Oh, he actually gave Kamala Harris her start. Maybe that's how he got the gig at CNN. You see those pictures, right? Kamala Harris, before she got into politics, she was arm candy for Montel Williams. It's spoiled candy, but candy nonetheless. Scott Jennings shut down the gaslighting last night, including with Montel Williams, where they were trying to say that Montel was saying that Tyler Robinson was a love-torn child. What? They're really doing this. Like, it's not just ABC and that loser reporter who said, "Oh, it's so touching, these text messages. He refers to the transgender boyfriend as my love. It's so touching. It's it's so touching." Montel Williams was doing it last night, too.
Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved.
Oh, cool. So that makes total sense. Let him out. You're free to go, sir. I didn't realize Charlie Kirk was disparaging your love. I made it 9 seconds before I had to stop that. There's about a minute and a half to go. This feels like rage bait to me. And it's probably just rage bait, but I'm taking it.
He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot.
You think he heard it? He could hear it?
I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? Jimmy Kimmel got fired. I think Montel Williams should get fired too. This is just ridiculous. CNN will never can him because CNN likes these radical views. And he wasn't politically motivated. He was emotionally motivated. Is this what we're doing? This is what we're doing. Got it. Scott Jennings.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, "Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out." He the testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't.
Oh, it's a joke. It was a joke. It was ha ha ha. Ha. Hilarious.
It sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried.
Well,
so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face.
Yep.
Left-wing radicalism got this kid. He went up to a roof and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened.
Honestly. Well, he wasn't politically motivated. He was emotionally motivated. There was someone disparaging his love. Okay. Okay. You don't hate these people enough, honestly. It's just insane. Steve in Savannah, Georgia. What's up, Steve? Thanks for holding as long as you did, man. What do you got?
Hey, man. Hey, thanks for taking my call again. I just want to say first, you got me yesterday. I know that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Bad timing.
Oh, you good, man? All right, I'm going to put you on hold real quick. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation, 615-737-9986. It's just infuriating what we're seeing from the left. It is absolutely mind-numbingly infuriating. From Montel Williams last night saying that this kid wasn't politically motivated, it was emotional. From the ABC reporter saying that these texts were touching. From the CNN panelists saying that they don't see thousands upon thousands of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. When are you guys going to stop with the lies and acknowledge the truth? That's where we need to get to in this country. And I worry with some of these individuals on the left that is never going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's 11:50. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and I got to tell you about my friends at the Glock store and invite you to be one of the first in Nashville to experience the AccuShoot LFX live fire simulator. So it's going to be happening from the 23rd next week to the 27th. This AccuShoot LFX, it's a fully interactive experience that lets you shoot a variety of animated targets with live fire in a time drill that is automatically and instantly scored. Now, here's why that's important, because every day that score could land you some great prizes. The top shooter will win valuable prizes like real Avid gunsmithing tools, O-Sight red dot optics, and more. And when the week's over, the top shooter of the grand prize drill is going to win a Daria DY9 pistol. If you haven't heard of them yet, you're going to, so get ready. Here's what you got to do. Create your AccuShooter profile account at the Glock store. Pay $10 plus ammo if you need it. Then pick your choice of 5 different shooting drills from mild to wild. That's the AccuShoot LFX event. It's happening Tuesday the 23rd to Saturday the 27th at the one and only Glock store, which is minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Turning Point USA has just announced a new CEO and chair. It is Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. We'll tell you more coming up at noon on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Now, here's the thing, Ken, and I don't want to tell you how to do your job.
Yes, sir.
You paid off the T's in the T's.
Yeah, I know. I got ahead of myself.
It's okay.
I was excited when I saw that, too.
I couldn't wait to announce it.
Hey, it's a big announcement, and I can't wait to see what else you have in the news.
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
That was.
You haven't heard anything yet.
We're just getting started.
There's more to it. There's a special guest there. Oh, Ben Shapiro must be bummed.
Oh, yeah, Ben Shapiro. It's 11:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Whitlock had a good reel on Shapiro. Because, Shapiro's like, I'm going to pick up the bloody mic. And Whitlock's going to be at Culture and Christianity tomorrow. I'm going to be there doing my whole show live. But Whitlock said, are you? Because if you're going to pick up that mic, you got to proclaim Jesus as your Lord and Savior. So if you're not willing to do that, you're not picking up Charlie's mic, you're picking up your mic.
Yeah.
Two different things.
When Rogan asked him, what do you think of Jesus? He goes, I think he was a person who tried to overthrow Rome and he got killed for his troubles. That was it. He was just
At least he didn't say he's in hell boiling in a pot of feces.
He did not. He did not. But just does show you, though, that that's what Ben Shapiro thinks, that Jesus was no more than that. He wasn't the Lord and Savior, didn't come back. He was just a guy that got killed because he tried to start a riot against the Romans.
Yeah, there's a difference, right?
Yeah.
There's one way to the Father, and that's through the Son. You got to do that if you want to be saved, whether you're Jewish or not.
And I think that's one of the big things when people talk about Israel, this, that, and the other. I'm like, you guys do realize we have totally different views on the biggest thing of our thing, which is.
I mean, there are Messianic Jews.
There are.
They believe in Jesus,
but not like over there. It is 90%. You got the Hasidic Jews. You got all, but there's not a lot of Messianic Jews over there.
No. Before we got on the air, we were talking about George Soros, me and Chad, and I said to him, with that much money,
yes,
how do you look that disheveled? I think would be the
how
proper
old is
term.
this? 90. He's old.
He's old.
He's always been old.
He coughs and dust comes out.
Yeah.
But I would look like $1 million if I had that kind of money, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, you could look like $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you would think that the pull the face back, like you said, the calves. We were very excited, but we were like, who gets calf implants?
Yeah, you gotta have
solid calves.
You don't have FU money if you don't have calf implants.
Yeah. Unless you've got natural calves.
This is true.
Which is way better.
This is true.
I've always worried, what happens if your calf gets dented?
Ooh.
Right? Think about that. Because they're not making it out of steel, are they?
I hope not.
No. So there's a good chance that if somebody gives you a good wallop, you're not going to look right.
It just rotates to the front. Like, oh no. What are you talking about today? What stories are you paying attention to?
Oh, man. We're going to talk about, we got somebody coming on. I always forget who we got coming on. Somebody. Gino
Bolso?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's two.
Cool. He likes to fight.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're going to talk about weed the whole time.
All right, perfect. Well, looking forward to that. Hey, one more time, just in case you guys weren't paying attention earlier, I'm going to be taking your letters to the Charlie Kirk Memorial at Turning Point USA headquarters. You can drop them off at Borough Holistic Health in Murfreesboro on Northfield Boulevard. They're open today, they're open tomorrow, and they're open Saturday morning. And then me and my wife are going to go by. We're going to grab the suitcase full of letters, and we're going to bring some Middle Tennessee to Phoenix to Turning Point headquarters. So if you want to do something like that, you feel it on your heart, you can find more information on my Instagram page at Chris Hand on Air.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, man. Chad's in next. 12 o'clock, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.